Hey everyone, thanks for stopping by. I hope you enjoy making this basket weave pillow cover with me today. If you'd like the written pattern for this project, you can find it in the link above. Without further ado, let's get into it. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm going to go ahead and teach you how to make a pillow cover. Now this pillow cover is actually going to be really cool because it's one that you can stuff with a polyfill. You don't have to have a pillow for it. And I'm going to teach you guys how to make two panels that will be required, for one for the back, one for the front, and then we'll sew up the bottom and the sides, and then we'll fill up the top. We'll sew up the top. Today I'm going to use this, I love this yarn in Stonewash. I love this color. I've been using it for a lot of things, and I'm actually just loving all of it. So I'm really loving this color. I've been using it for some other projects lately, and I don't know, I guess it's just because I'm in the winter mood, and this color is one of my favorite colors for winter. I love blue and silver and white and things like that. Let's go ahead and grab some yarn. Go ahead and get a size I crochet hook. I've been using the I crochet hooks a lot because they just kind of have the perfect gauge for the types of projects that I'm teaching right now. So it's a size I hook, 5.5 millimeter, and today I'm using my clover. So go ahead and get your supplies and we'll get going. And as with all projects, we need to start with a slip knot. Go ahead and make your slip knot here. Insert your hook. And now we're going to go ahead and chain 67. You have the option of chaining 67, or if you want to, you can use a chainless foundation, and in that case you will need 65 double crochets. Okay, so as you can see here, I actually did the chain of 67 so I can help other people to know where to put their first double crochet. If you used the chainless foundation, go ahead and chain 2, and then we're going to go ahead and have you turn your work and wait for me. So what we need is 65 double crochets. In order to do this, we need to skip a couple of chain spaces. So skipping the very first space where the yarn is coming through, we're not going to count that. We're going to go down 1, 2, 3. Into that very third space, we're going to go ahead and make a double crochet. The crossover of that chain 3 right here, that is your first double crochet. And then we just made the second double crochet, and now we're going to move on and make one double crochet in every single chain space all the way down the chain until we have 65 double crochets. Okay, so as you see, I just made my very last double crochet. I'm going to go ahead and chain 2 and turn my work. And now what we want to do is make 5 front post double crochets around the next 4 posts. So we're going to skip this one here, and we're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4 front post double crochets. And this very first one here will count as the very first double crochet, or front post double crochet. And now we're going to have a count of 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Around the next 5 posts, we're going to make 5 back post double crochets. Okay, and there are 5 back post double crochets, 5 front posts, 5 back posts, and now we're going to make 5 more front post double crochets. And then after we get done with the last front post double crochet, we're going to make 5 back post double crochets. And this is going to be the pattern all the way down the row. and I will finish these back posts with you, and then I'll show you what to expect from the row, and I will leave you to do it on your own. Okay, there's 5 back post double crochets. Okay, so you'll notice now we have 5 front posts, 5 back posts, 5 front posts, 5 back posts. So you want this to alternate 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so you already have 4 sections, and then you're going to make another section of 5, another section of 5 in this exact pattern. So go ahead and make 5 front post double crochets, and then make 5 back post double crochets, and so on and so forth until you get to the very end. And at the end you should have 5 front post double crochets. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and work on the last 5 stitches together. We're going to make 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 front post double crochets. And I'll show you how to do that very last post, which is actually a chain, so that you guys know what you're doing. Okay, so here's the last front post here before the chain, and then here's the chain. And to make the front post, since we don't have another stitch on the other side of this, we're just going to go and start to do a front post double crochet like we normally do around the other ones by going through this space here, grabbing the yarn, and finishing off the double crochet like that, and then it pulls the chain area forward. And then we are going to chain 2 and turn our work. Right now you have 13 sections. You have back post, front post, back post. So you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, and 13. So after you've chained 2, we're going to continue to crochet what we see. So for this row, we're going to do back post double crochets around the back post double crochets and front post around the front posts. So we're just going to do that all the way down like this. 1 back post, another back post, until we've put a back post around the other back post from the previous row, like that. And then we're going to make 5 front post double crochets. And I'll show you why this is what you're going to do. If you don't know how to do the basket weave, or if you've never seen a basket weave, crocheted basket weave done before, I have a little area here that I'm going to show you really quickly on what it looks like, so that you can get a better idea of what it's going to be. So you notice that you have these sections, okay, and they're all different. So these sections here, there's actually 4 rows. 4 rows of back posts here. 1, 2, 3, and then 4's up here. So if you see these ridges, 1, 2, 3, 4, you know that you have 4 rows here. And then there's 4 rows of front post double crochets as well. So when we get finished with the 4th row, right now we are on row 2 over here. When we finish with the 4th row, then we'll do the opposite on row 5, and then that way we start having this pattern. But I wanted to have that there for you guys to see, so that you know kind of what our goal is. So we're going to continue. We've done the front post double crochets, and now we're going to make our back post double crochets. Make sure only to make 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay, and then 5 front post double crochets, and then I'm going to have you guys go on and do the rest of this row on your own, because you already know what to do. Just crochet what you see, and I'll meet you at the end of the row. Okay, so we are at the end where we need to make the final back post double crochet. In order to do that, we're gonna yarn over and come through that space right here between the two posts, come around, grab the yarn and pull it through, and finish off the double crochet. And that will help to pull that chain back. And go ahead and chain 2 and turn your work. Okay, now you're going to do the exact same thing for the next 2 rows. So you'll do this one, you'll chain 2, turn your work, you'll do 1 more. I'm going to go ahead and do mine off camera, and I will join you when I'm done. Okay guys, so this is actually what you need in order to have the first 4 rows done. Right here is the very first row that we made. So you have your chain, or you have your chainless foundation right here. So this is the first row of double crochets, and then you back post double crocheted around these, and now you have these back post double crochets here. So there's this one little ridge here of like V's that you can see, and then there's these stitches behind that, and now there's another row of these V's here because you back post double crocheted around these back post double crochets. Now you have this row of back post double crochets, and then you have another ridge right here, and then another set of back posts from the row that we just ended here. So this is what it should look like. With this very first set right here, you should only have 3 of these ridges, and that's my fault. I should have said that at the beginning when I was telling you guys to do 2 more rows. You would only do 1 more row because you had already had the foundation. So then you were going to do this one, and then this final one here. So go ahead and make sure that you chain your 2, and we're going to continue on to this next row. So these back post double crochets are now going to become front post double crochets, and we're going to alternate and crochet the exact opposite of what we had before. So make your 5 front post double crochets here. Remember that that chain 2 counts as the first one, so you just make 4 more. And then we move on to these front posts, and we're going to make back posts around them. And now we're just going to do the opposite on this row. And now this is what it's going to start to look like. Now you can tell that you have the opposite started. What I want you guys to do is go ahead and finish this row by yourself, and I will meet you at the other side. Okay, so here we are at the end. We're going to go ahead and do the last 5 stitches together. You need to make 5 front post double crochets. And then we're going to make a front post double crochet around this chain post here. And the way we do that is by yarning over, going through the space here, going around the post, grabbing the yarn, and then finishing off the double crochet. And now we're going to chain 2 and turn our work. Okay, now according to the pattern that I am writing, the first rows here, 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's the first set, okay, of your front post, back post, front post, the way they look here. And then on row 5, you'll switch it up. So on row 5, you now do back post double crochets around the front post. So I want you guys to be able to know like what row you're on. And right now, we just did row 5, and now we're going to row 6. Rows 5, 6, 7, and 8, those 4 rows are going to be like these are here. So row 5 will start everything all over again, and just opposite. So now we're going to go into row 6. We're going to do back post around the back post, front post around the front post, just like we did in this section here, and for 4 rows. So go ahead and start working on your back posts, and then you'll do your front post double crochets around the front post double crochets. Again, you'll only do this is the second row or I should say the 6th row, but it's the 2nd row of the 2nd group. So on this row 6 here, you'll do row 6, and then row 7, and then row 8. Just like you're doing this here, you're going to crochet what you see. You're not doing the opposite yet. And then go ahead and finish this section until you have your 4 new rows, your 5, 6, 7, and 8, and I'll meet you at the end of row 8. Okay, so here I am at the end of row 8, and you'll notice that we're going to have 4 ridges where the back post double crochets are. So now we have this one, this one, this one, and this one. That means that there's 4 rows of back posts. So when you have 4 rows, you know you finished this group, okay, this entire group, before we have to chain 2 and then continue on doing the opposites. So now from here on out, you're going to repeat rows 1 through 8 until you have exactly 12 of these changed rows or changed groups. So we'll have here, let me show you on the one that I've finished over here so that you can see what I mean. I have finished this one, and you're going to need to start down here and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Excuse me, I have 13. We have 13. Okay, not 12. In this direction, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13 also. So it's a 13 by 13 square. So go ahead and finish this. Make sure you have the 13 that you need of these. And then you'll make another panel exactly identical. So you'll have 2 of these. And you'll start the other panel exactly the same way I showed you. You'll just want to go to the beginning of the video, and I will show you again how to make another panel. You want to, because we're going to sew them together, and then we're going to fill them with polyfill and make pillows. So go ahead and go do that, and I will meet you back when I am all finished with both of my panels. Okay, you guys, so I am back, and I'm going to show you exactly how I did this. I made 2 of these panels. And as I said before, you're going to have 13 of these sections here of front and back post double crochets here, like the little basket weave. So you're going to have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and then you have 13 going this way as well. So now you basically have pretty much a perfect square. And I'm going to show you what I purchased. I did not buy the polyfill. I did not know that Walmart had these really great pillows already. They're 18-inch Crafter's Choice pillow forms. And it's been a very, very long time since I bought polyfill or even been in that section of Walmart. So when I found this, it was under $6. It was actually in some ways even cheaper than a lot of the polyfill they had over there. And since I didn't know exactly how much polyfill to buy, because I haven't used it in so long, I just went ahead and got the pillow form. So as I said, at Walmart, this is under $6, and I would definitely go with this, and definitely go with the size 18-inch for the size pillow covers that we made. Alright, so now you have a choice. You can either leave your plastic on, or you can take it off. I'm going to take mine off just because I don't want to have that crinkly sound on the pillow whenever I'm using it. And I will be adding this pillow actually to my living room to help to bring in the festive colors of winter. So anyway, we're going to go ahead and continue. Now what you need to do, first of all, when you've finished the very last panel, let me move this over here. It's very hard to get this stuff in screen. Bring this light over here so we can see this better. Alright, so when I had you finish your very last panel, what you're going to need to do is when you finish that very last front post double crochet, you need to bring your yarn all the way through, because we're going to use this yarn to start sewing up the sides of the pillow cover. So when you're going to want to make the strand as long as you think you might need it. I probably wouldn't make it too long. You can always add more yarn later if you need it, but let's go ahead and get a yarn needle. I don't want darning. I want an actual yarn needle this time. So there's my yarn needle. Make sure you have a pair of scissors as well. And we're going to get started on this part here. Alright. So I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle. And after we thread it, there's going to be one thing that we're going to do, and it's going to save us from having to sew in any ends that we don't want to sew in. I know it can be a real problem for some people. Some people actually like to crochet them in as they go. I'm not that person, so I guess I'm just a little bit lazier when it comes to that kind of stuff. But you'll notice like you have areas where you have strands like this. So what I would do is just make sure they're nice and tight. Get your scissors and just trim them up a little bit. You don't have to hide them or anything. And you're going to have that, and you might even have it over here. Now I will tell you that it took me a little more than 2 skeins of yarn to do both of these. I would say have at least 2.5 skeins just to be safe in case you crochet more loose. It's probably just better to have that, and understanding too that back post and front post double crochets will actually really eat up a lot of your yarn, so you're going to want to have a little bit more around. Alright, so the parts that you just cut here, we're going to go ahead and put on the inside of the pillow. We'll put inside the pillow cover so that we won't see this. The inside, this will be the inside, this will be the inside, and the other side here where we cut will be the inside. Alright, so go ahead and get your yarn needle threaded, and we're going to start over here where the yarn is at, or where we ended the last stitch. So we want to bring both sides, or both corners together. So you have a front post on this front posts on this side, and you have your other front posts on this side. The back post double crochets are going to be on the inside of the cover. So go ahead and with your needle go up underneath this one corner here on the other side, and let's bring the two and join the sides here together. And now this is together. Alright, and then we're going to go up along the side here, and I'm going to do something called a mattress stitch. It's where you go up underneath a strand of yarn like this on one side, and then you go up on under the other side this way under one of the legs, and you bring it up like this. So you're bringing you're actually making a seam on the inside, but of course on the outside here you won't see it. So this is going to actually work out really well for, you know, like pillow shams and stuff. You want no seams to be seen. So we're going to go on this side here, and then over underneath one of these legs here. Now what's nice about this is because it's a pillow cover, your stitches don't have to be absolutely perfect, or your sewing doesn't have to be absolutely perfect. It just needs to be where it's closed and no one is going to be the wiser. The only person that will know would be you. And if you make any mistakes, nobody's going to see it because it's in the very seam or the very edge of the pillow cover. So, alright, so let's go ahead and just sew this up. Now you can whip stitch yours if you want to. As I said, I'm going to go ahead and do mine this way so their seam is on the inside and that you can't see it. And then what happens is when we stuff the pillow inside, because we're going to go ahead and sew up this side, sew up the end on this side and around the other side, and we're going to leave the top open, and then we're going to stuff the pillow in there. And when we do that, we come up here along the front, and we're going to make the mattress stitch here as well, and that's going to make the edge even like it is here, and you'll see what I mean when we get to that point. Anyway, so go ahead and sew up your 3 sides, and then I will meet up with you when I finish this side over here. So go ahead and do this side that we're working on now, do the end, and do the other side. And if you have to add yarn, go ahead and do that as well, and I will see you at the top. Okay, and one other thing that I want to show you guys too. If if you have a hard time keeping your corners together, what you can do is use these locking stitch markers, and you want to put it through this corner and this corner, and it'll actually hold your work in place as you are sewing your pillow up. And just clip it in place, and that'll hold the entire thing steady for you, and you can do all the sides like that. So that's how I'm going to do mine, just to make sure that my corners don't come apart. And you guys can do this however you want to. Anyway, I wanted to share that little tip with you guys. So go ahead and sew up your sides, and I'll meet you again at the top. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and stop right here with my strand of yarn that I've been using to sew up the pillowcase, and I'm going to add some more yarn. So what I want to do is get from my skein, just grab some more yarn. I'm just not going to grab a whole lot, but I want to have enough to sew up the rest of this and the top when we stuff the pillow. So, and if you have any extra left over, you know, it's not that big of a problem. You'll have it to sew in at the end, but that won't be that big of a problem. And what I want to do is take this strand of yarn and this strand of yarn. Now, what I'm going to do is thread my needle, and this is how I do it because it makes it simpler for me. I'm going to go up inside the yarn here, right there, and pull this strand through. Now, since it's already on my needle, I'm going to take this piece of yarn and this part of the yarn here, and I'm going to tie these down like this, just like that. And this piece right here is going to go inside the pillowcase so that I don't have to sew it in later. And now I'm going to unthread my needle. Like I said, this is how I do it. You guys may have your own way of doing it. I'm going to put this side in there as well. Okay, now I'm going to come over here and pull this strand of yarn, and I'm going to find out where I cut it at the end, and I'm going to go ahead and thread my needle again. Some people may say that's a lot of extra work, not necessary. That's fine. Everybody has their way. That's how I do it. You guys go ahead and do it however you want, and now I can continue to sew up my side. And yes, sometimes the yarn is so long that it becomes hard to deal with, so just go slow at the beginning. Remember, there's no hurry to get the sewing part done. Now when we get over here, okay, where I have my stitch marker here, I'm going to go ahead and sew up this part here, and when I take this out, then I will come back and I'll show you how to stuff the pillow, and then we'll go ahead and sew up the top together. All right. So let me go ahead and walk you guys through the end of this here. I'm going to sew up this last bit here. Remember to go slow when you pull your yarn through. That way it doesn't get tangled up on you. It does take a little bit longer, but I can assure you that it's totally worth it. It's worth the patience, I promise. Okay, so we're going to go ahead and take out any stitch markers we have at this point. When we get to this point, there's only this little bit left. We're going to go ahead and, you would have already done this part, but I'm going to go ahead and show you anyway, just in case you're watching the video before you make the pillowcase. I'm going to go all the way up, and then on this side, all the way up to the very corner. Okay, and now we'll tie these two together, because you may have a strand, you may not have a strand. I have a strand here, so I'm going to go ahead and tie mine down just to connect it, and then this is going to wind up inside my pillowcase. Alright, so now we need to grab our pillow that we're going to be inserting. Now it's up to you whether or not you want to cut your tag off. I'm probably just going to go ahead and leave mine on. These pillows actually come with zippers. I'm going to assume that they're filled with polyfill because this is hanging out. So I don't know if you can see that in the frame there. So anyway, it looks like there's polyfill hanging out of it, but that's okay because it was already made for me and I'm okay with that. So let's go ahead and put this in. Now you're not going to see this on camera because I'm going to have to take this away from my desk, fill it, and then I'll have to bring it back. Okay, as you can see, I have my pillow in. I put the zipper part at the top. The tag is down here, and you can hear it, it's crunchy. So mine fits absolutely perfectly in this, the way that we did it. Now when we sew this up, it's going to be exactly like it was for the other sides that we did. So we're just going to continue with the mattress stitch, working along the side here, and like I said, if there's any strands, throw them inside and you will never see them again. So go ahead and once you have your pillow in, go ahead and start sewing up the top. And I know you might wind up with a couple knots here and there. We just have to work with it, but like I said, it's completely worth it when we're done. And then what I'll do is when I finish this pillowcase, I will take some pictures because I need to put them up on Instagram anyway. And then I will throw up the pictures at the end of the video so you guys can see what it looks like on my sofa. So I'm going to go ahead and leave you here to take care of sewing up your top, and I'll meet you over here at this end. Okay, I am back to show you guys the very last bit of sewing up the top of the pillow. I like to finish off the projects with you guys, so let's go ahead and end this here. You just want to make sure that you're getting those few spots and don't leave any holes. Go all the way to the end on both sides. There's one side, here's the other side, and then we're going to make one last little insert, make a loop because again we're sewing, make a loop, and then we're going to enter the loop from the other side here and pull it tight. It's a lot of yarn I have left over, I know, I'm well aware. It happens though, guys, it really does. You can roll this up and you can keep it for something else if you need, or add it to your yarn elsewhere. Alright, so we're going to go ahead and sew in our ends. Ends like this. You can go down through your actual stitches, your double crochets if you want. I like to go down one side, come up just next to it. So if I exited here, I like to go up like right over here somewhere, back up to the same stitch, and that way I have a couple of fibers of yarn between, and then I come back down again on another side down to that same stitch, and now I know that it's never going to unravel on me, and I can go ahead and cut this off. Now I do have a couple of ends that I have to sew in that were not a part of the inside of the pillow cover, so I'm going to do that now. But anyway, guys, here is the pillow, and I wish that I could show you better. But as I said, I'll put a picture up so you guys can see it. Isn't that beautiful? I think you guys are really gonna like this. And you know what? These make really fantastic Christmas presents or birthday presents, especially for people who enjoy home decor and things like that. If you know someone's colors of their home, you can go pick out just the perfect yarn. You can make this Basketweave stitch. I'm gonna put my light here so you guys can maybe see it a little bit better. I'm not sure what you guys are seeing, but anyway, this pillow is going to work out great. Make a couple of them. I would say maybe even make maybe 4 or 5, throw them on your sofa. They're going to look amazing. And like I said, for those people who like home decor, these make great gifts. So anyway, guys, go ahead and sew in your ends, and then I would love to see pictures of what you've made. So if you want to go ahead and take pictures and send them to me at fibertheory@yahoo.com, I'll take a look at them. I love being able to see what you guys create using these ideas that I kind of come up with off the top of my head. Anyway, y'all, thank you so much for joining me today, and I will see you in the next video. But until then, y'all have a great week. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this tutorial, and for all the latest updates on future projects, you can follow me on Instagram and Twitter at the handle @fibertheory. Remember to subscribe and hit that bell icon for all future project notifications. Have a great day.